The fact that they did not follow us at once into the house as anyone else would have done seems to show that they have some sense of shame left.
They have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us at all. Couldn't you cough? But I haven't a cough. They're looking at us. What effrontery.
They're approaching. How forward of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly. It's the only thing to do now.
Silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
Mr. Worthing, I have something very particular to ask you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolen, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
So that I might have an opportunity of meeting you, dear Cecily.
That certainly seems like a satisfactory explanation.
Yes, dear, if you can believe him.
I don't. That doesn't affect the beauty of his reply.
True. In matters of great importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you offer me for pretending to have a brother? Was it so that you might have the possibility of coming up to town as often as possible to see me?
And you doubted Miss Fairfax?
I have the greatest doubts on the subject, but I intend to crush them. Now is not the moment for German skepticism. Their answers seem most satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's, who seem to have the stamp of truth upon it.
I'm very satisfied with Mr. Moncrief's reply. His voice alone inspires absolute credulity.
Then we should forgive them?
Yes. No.
True. I forgot there are principles at stake one cannot surrender. Which of us is to tell them it is not a pleasant task?
Why not both speak at the same time?
An excellent idea. I nearly always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take time for me?
Certainly. Your Christian names are still an insufferable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
For my sake, are you prepared to do this terrible thing?
I am.
To please me, are you ready to face this fearful ordeal?
I am.
How foolish to talk of equality amongst the sexes, when self-sacrifice is considered. Men are infinitely beyond us.
We are.
They have moments of physical courage of which we women know absolutely nothing. Darling!
Darling.
Lady Breakfast.
What happened?
Only that I'm engaged to be married to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Come here. Sit down. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of mental decay in the young, of physical weakness in the old. Appraised her of my daughter's sudden flight by her trusty maid, I followed her at once by luggage train. Her lady father is, I am glad to say, under the impression that she is attending a more than usually lengthy lecture by the University Extension Scheme on the influence of a permanent income on thought. I do not propose to undeceive him. Indeed, I have never undeceived him on any matter I would consider as wrong. However, you will clearly understand that all communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately. On this point, as indeed on all points, I am firm.
I am engaged to be married to Gwendolen, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. Now, as regards Algernon. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
is in this house your invalid friend Mr. Bunbury resides?
Oh, no. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury's dead.
Dead? When did Mr. Bunbury die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
Oh, I killed him this afternoon. I died this afternoon.
What did he die of?
Oh, Bunbury, he was quite exploded.
A revolutionary outrage. I was not aware that Mr. Bunbury was interested in social legislation. If so, he was well punished for his morbidity.
What I mean to say, Aunt Augusta, is that Bunbury was found out. I mean, the doctors found out that Bunbury could not live, so he died.
He seems to have great confidence in the opinion of his physicians. I'm glad, at any rate, that he made up his mind to some definite course of action and acted under proper medical advice. And now, let me look at Bunbury out of the way. May I ask, Mr. Wood, what that young person whose hand my nephew Algernon is holding in what seems to me is a peculiarly unnecessary manner?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, my ward.
I'm engaged to be married to Cecily, Aunt Augusta.
Pardon me.
Algernon and I are engaged to be married, Lady Bracknell.
I'm not sure if there's something peculiarly exciting in the air of this particular part of Hertfordshire, but the number of engagements that go on seem to me considerably above the average the statistics have laid down for our guidance. I think some preliminary inquiry on my part might not be out of the question. Is this Miss Cardew at all connected with any of the larger railway stations in London? I merely desire information. Until yesterday, I had no idea that there were any families or persons whose origin was a terminus.
Miss Cardew is the granddaughter of Mr. Thomas Cardew of 149 Belgrave Square, Southwest, Dorking, Surrey, and Gosforth, Fifeshire, NB.
That sounds not unsatisfactory. 3 addresses always inspires confidence, even in tradesmen. What proof have I of their authenticity?
I have carefully preserved the court guides of the period. They are open for inspection, Lady Bracknell.
I have known strange errors in that publication.
Miss Cardew's family solicitors are Messrs. Markby.
Markby, a firm of the highest position in their profession. Indeed, I'm told that one of them, Mr. Markby, may occasionally be seen at dinner parties. So far, I'm satisfied.
That is very generous of you, Lady Bracknell. I have also in my possession, you'll be pleased to hear, certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles, the German and the English bride.
A life crowded with incident. Although perhaps somewhat too exciting for a young girl, I'm not myself in favor of premature experiences. Gwynplaine, the time approaches for our departure. We have not a moment to lose. As a matter of form, I'd better ask if Miss Cardew had any small fortune.
Oh, about 130,000 pounds in the funds. That is all. Goodbye, Lady Bracknell. So pleased to have seen you.
One moment, Mr. Worthing. 130,000 pounds! And in the funds. Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive girl now that I look at her. Few girls of the present day have any really solid qualities, any of the qualities that last and improve with time. We live, I regret to say, in an age of surfaces. Come over here, Jack. Good child. Your dress is sadly simple, and your hair looks almost as nature might have left it. However, that can soon be altered. A thoroughly experienced French maid produces a really marvelous effect in a very brief space of time. I remember recommending one to young Lady Lansing, and after 3 months, her husband did not know her.
And after 6 months, nobody knew her.
Kindly turn around to me, child. No, side view is what I want. Yes, quite as expected. There are distinct social possibilities in your profile. 2 weak points of our age are to want of principle and to want of profile. Chin, little higher, dear. Style largely depends on the way the chin is worn. They're worn very high just at present. Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta.
there are distinct social possibilities in Miss Cardew's profile.
Cecily is the sweetest, prettiest, dearest girl I've ever met, and I don't care 2 pence about social possibilities.
Never speak disrespectfully of society, Algernon. Only people who can't get into it do that. Dear child, you know, of course, that Algernon has nothing but his debts to depend on. But I do not approve of mercenary marriages. When I married Lord Bracknell, I had no fortune of any kind. I did not dream for a moment of allowing that to stand in my way. Well, I suppose I must give my consent.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
You may kiss me, Cecily.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
And you may address me as Aunt Augusta in the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I think, had better take place quite soon.
Thank you.
To speak frankly, I'm not in favor of long engagements. They give people the chance to find out each other's characters before marriage, which I think is never advisable.
Pardon me for interrupting, Lady Bracknell, but I must say that this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Cecily's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent until she legally comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may almost say, ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing, but he looks everything. What more can one desire?
It pains me very much to have to speak to you frankly about your nephew, Lady Bracknell, but I must say, I do not approve at all of his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful.
Untruthful? My nephew Algernon? Impossible, he is not so.
I fear there can be no possible doubt on the matter. This afternoon, during my temporary absence in London on an important question of romance, he gained admission to my house under the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank, I've just been informed by my butler, an entire pint bottle of my Perrier Jouet Brew 89, a wine I was specially reserving for myself. Continuing his disgraceful deception, he succeeded in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward. He subsequently stayed to tea and devoured every every single muffin. And what makes his conduct all the more heartless is that he knew very well from the first that I hadn't got a brother, that I never had a brother, and that I haven't the smallest intention of ever having one in the future, not even of any kind. I distinctly told him so myself yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Wilde, after careful consideration, I've decided to entirely overlook my nephew's conduct to you.
Oh, extremely generous of you, Lady Vrabel. My own decision, however, is unalterable. I decline to give my consent.
Come over here, dear. How old are you, child?
I am only just 18, but I always admit to 20 at evening parties.
You are quite right to make some slight alteration. Indeed, no woman should ever be quite accurate about her age. It looks so calculating. 18, but admitting to 20 at evening parties. Well, it will not be long before you are of age and free from the restraints of tutelage, so I do not think your guardian's consent will, after all, be a matter of any importance.
Pray pardon me for interrupting you again, Lady Vrabel, but I feel it only fair to inform you that under the terms of her grandfather's will, Miss Cardew does not come legally of age until she is 35.
That does not seem to me to be a grave objection. 35 is a very attractive age. London society is full of women of the very highest birth who have remained 35 for years of their own free will. Lady Dumbledon is an instance in point. To my knowledge, she has been 35 ever since she reached the age of 40, which is some years ago now. I don't see any reason why our dear Cecily should not be even more attractive at the age you mentioned that she is at present. It will be a large accumulation of property.
Algernon, could you wait for me till I was 35?
Of course I could, Cecily. You know I could.
Yes, I felt it instinctively, but still, I don't think I could wait till I was 35. I can't wait hardly 5 minutes for anybody. I always expect punctuality in others, but I'm never quite punctual myself, and I couldn't wait that long. It would be out of the question.
Well, then what is to be done, Cecily?
I don't know.
Mr. Wilde, as Miss Cardew states positively that she cannot wait till she is 35 to be married, a remark which I am bound to say seems to me to display a somewhat impatient nature, I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
But my dear Lady Bracknell, the matter is entirely in your own hands. The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolen, I will most gladly allow your nephew to form an alliance with my ward.
You must be aware that what you propose is out of the question.
Then a passionate celibacy is all that any of us can look forward to.
That's not the fate I propose for Gwendolen. Algernon, of course, can do as he chooses. Come, dear, we have only missed 5, if not 6 trains. Can any more might expose us to comment on the platform?
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening, sir? Is not that somewhat premature?
Both of these men have expressed a desire for immediate baptism.
At their age? The idea is grotesque and irreligious. Algernon, I forbid you to be baptized. I will not hear of such excesses. Lord Bracknell would be highly displeased if that he learned that that was the way in which you wasted your time and money.
Am I to understand that there are to be no christenings at all this afternoon?
I don't think that as things are now, it would be of much practical value to either of us, Dr. Chaucer.
Grieves me to hear such sentiments from you, Mr. Worthing. They savor of the heretical views of the Anabaptists, views which I have completely refuted in 4 of my unpublished sermons. However, as your present mood seems to be one particularly secular, I will return to the church at once. Indeed, for the past hour and a half I have just been informed by the pew opener Lady Prism has been waiting for me in the vestry.
Miss Prism? Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism?
Yes, Lady Bracknell, I am on my way to see her.
Pray, allow me to detain you for a moment. This matter may prove to be of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself. Is this Miss Prism a female of repellent aspect, remotely connected with education?
She is the most cultivated of ladies, and the very picture of respectability.
It is obviously the same person. May I ask what position she holds in your household?
I am celibate, man.
Miss Prism has been, Lady Bracknell, for the last 3 years, Miss Cardew's valued companion and esteemed governess.
Despite what I hear, for I must see her. Let her be sent for.
She approaches. She is nigh.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Canon. I've been waiting there for an hour and 3/4.
Prism! Come here, Prism! Prism, where is that baby? 28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104 Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator that contained a baby of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigation of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered standing alone at midnight in a remote corner of Bayswater. It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of more than usually revolting sentimentality. But the baby was not there. Prism, where is that baby?
Lady Bracknell, I admit with shame that I do not know. I only wish I did. The plain facts of the case are these. On the morning of the day which you mentioned, a day that is forever branded into my memory, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in its perambulator. I had also with me a somewhat old but capacious handbag in which I intended to place the manuscript of a work of fiction I had written in my few unoccupied hours. In a moment of mental abstraction for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and the baby in the handbag.
But where did you deposit that handbag?
Do not ask me, Mr. Worthing.
Listen, this is a matter of no small importance to me. I insist on knowing where you deposited the handbag that contained that infant.
I left it in the cloakroom of one of the larger railway stations in London.
What? Railway station.
Victoria. The bright and light.
I must retire to my room for a moment. Gwendolyn, you will wait for me.
If you are not too long, I will wait all my life.
What do you think this means, Lady Bracknell?
I dare not even suspect or be trustable. I need hardly tell you that in families of high esteem, strange coincidences are not supposed to occur. They are hardly considered the thing.
That seems strangely agitated.
Your guardian and the very emotional nature.
When we're at it, something it's actually becoming an argument. I don't like arguments of any kind. They are always vulgar and often convincing.
It has stopped now.
No, it's extremely unpleasant.
Suspense is terrible. I hope it will last.
Miss Prism, is this the handbag? Examine it carefully before you speak. The happiness of more than one life depends upon your answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes, here's the entry it received through the upsetting of the Gower Street omnibus in younger and happier days. Here's the stain on the lining caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage, an incident that occurred in Leamington. And here on the lock are my initials. I had forgotten that in an extravagant mood I had had them placed there. The bag is undoubtedly mine. I am delighted to have it so unexpectedly returned to me. It has been a great inconvenience being without it all these years.
Miss Prism, more is restored to you than this handbag. I was the baby you placed in it.
You?
Yes, mother.
Mr. Worthing, I am unmarried.
Unmarried. I do not deny that it's a serious blow, and yet who has the right to cast a stone against one who has suffered? Cannot repentance wipe out an act of folly? Why should there be one law for men and another for women? Mother, I forgive you.
Mr. Worthing, there is some error. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
I hate to seem inquisitive, Lady Bracknell, but could you kindly inform me who I am?
I'm afraid that the news I have to give you will not altogether please you. You are the son of my poor sister, Mrs. Moncrief, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Alfie's elder brother? Then I've got a brother after all. I knew I had a brother. I always said I had a brother. Oh, Cecily, how could you put it down if I had a brother? Dr. Chasuble, my unfortunate brother. Miss Prism, my unfortunate brother. Gwendolyn, my unfortunate brother. Oh, Algie, you young scoundrel. You'll have to treat me with more respect in the future. You've never once behaved to me like a brother in all your life.
Yes, I admit I was out of practice, although I tried my best.
Oh,
Brother.
my own. What? My own what? What is your Christian name now that you've become someone else?
I'd quite forgotten that point. Your decision on the subject of my name is irrevocable, I suppose.
I never change, except in my affections.
Your character is most admirable, Gwendolyn.
The matter had better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, a moment. When Miss Prism left me in the handbag, had I already been christened?
Every luxury that money could buy, including christening, had been bestowed on you by our fond and doting parents.
Then I was christened. That matter is settled. But what name was I given? Come, let me know the worst.
Being the eldest, you were naturally christened after your father.
Yes, but what was my father's Christian name?
I do not at present recall what the general's Christian name was, although I know that he had one. He was eccentric, I admit, but only in later years, and that was the result of the Indian climate and indigestion and marriage and other things of that kind.
Algie, can't you recollect what our father's Christian name was?
My old boy, we were never on speaking terms. The old man died before I was a year old.
His name would appear in the army list of the period, I suppose?
The general was essentially a man of peace, except in his domestic life. However, I've no doubt his name would appear in any military directory.
The army list of the last 40 years are here. These delightful records should have been my constant study. Here we are. M generals, Mallow, Maxwell, Mackley. Oh, what ghastly names they have. Markby, Migsby, Mobbs, Moncrief, Lieutenant 1840, Lieutenant Captain, Captain Colonel, General 1869, Christian names. Earnest, John. I always told you my name was Ernest, didn't I, Gwendolyn? Well, it is Ernest after all. I mean, it naturally is Ernest.
My own Ernest, I knew you could have no other name.
I recall now. The general's Christian name was Earnest. I knew I had some particular reason for disliking that name.
My lord, it is a terrible thing for a man to find out that all his life he has been speaking nothing but the truth. Can you forgive me?
I can, or I feel you are soon to change.
My own ones.
Letitia?
Frederick, at last!
Cecily, at last. Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've just realized for the first time in my life the vital importance of being earnest.